Welcome back, it's Jason Walter here. Here's your latest housing market forecast from Corelogic, just announced today at the time of filming this video, which is on July 11th. They provided their forecast through May of 2024 and also provide some insights regarding home prices nationwide, as well as the 10 biggest cities in the US compared to 1 year ago. Also, stay tuned toward the end of this video because they provide the 5 areas in which they believe home prices will decrease the most over the next 12 months. I have a lot to share in today's video. If you guys haven't subscribed just yet, I invite you to do so because I post frequent housing market updates so you guys can make a more informed decision about whether to buy or sell a house. And with that said, let's begin today's video. I appreciate you guys for joining me in today's video. So again, this is posted on July 11th, which is today. Hope you guys like these timely housing market updates here. But here is what happened this May compared to last May and also compared to April here. It says home prices nationwide, including distress sales. A distress sale, by the way, is a foreclosure or a short sale, for example. So home prices nationwide increased year over year by 1.4% this May compared to May of 2022. And I actually looked up their forecast from 1 year ago. Their forecast from 1 year ago, actually, I think I have it right here. Yeah, their forecast from 1 year ago. This is their forecast from May 2022 to May 2023. They were forecasting for home prices to increase by 5%. But when looking at what actually happened though, home prices only increased by 1.4% nationwide. In contrast, on a month-over-month basis, from April to May this year, it came in at right at expectations, a gain of 0.9%. So before I share their housing market forecast through May of 2024, here's what their previous forecasts were starting in January this year. So from January 2023 to January 2024, their forecast was calling for a gain of 3.1% nationally regarding home prices. Then in February, that was the third consecutive upper revision in their housing market forecast, a gain of 3.7%. The next month, March 2023 to March 2024, their housing market predictions was a gain of 4.6%, a fairly significant increase from the 3.7% that they posted a month prior to that. And that, by the way, was their fourth consecutive upper revision in their housing market forecast. Then in April, through April 2024, they actually called for a 4.6% increase, flat compared to the previous 12-month forecast. Now their new forecast here from May 2023 to May 2024 is a gain of 4.5%, a slight downward revision in their 12-month housing market forecast that was posted last month. So in other words, over the past several months, their forecast for the next 12 months has been paid at around 4.5 to 4.6%. And again, here's our forecast, a gain of 4.5%. Also, they're predicting that home prices will increase by 1% from May 2023 to June this year. Also, according to Corelogic's chief economist, she stated the following here. A significant number of Western states saw prices decrease in May compared to the same time frame in 2022. And by the way, I'll share a map regarding home price changes year over year for the US, which is absolutely insane because the Western states are experiencing the biggest decreases, whereas areas like the South, for example, are experiencing the biggest increases. So stay tuned for that. In any case, this decrease in prices in the Western states is a reflection of out-migration, in other words, people moving out of those states into more rural areas, and of course, more affordable areas as well. And also the significant loss of housing affordability due to rising rates as well as home prices as well. In contrast, northeastern states and southeastern metro areas continue to see large home price gains compared to other areas in the country. She also says here, following a cumulative increase of almost 4% in home prices from February and April 2023. So we're seeing here that home prices increased by 4% from February to the end of April this year. Also, based on my own analysis of Redfin's data, when looking at home prices at the beginning of this year through early July, home prices nationwide, based on the median sold price, have increased by about 10%. And of course, because of these rising rates and a near record high home prices, this is putting pressure on potential buyers. Regarding average rates as of July 11th, average 30-year fixed rates is at 7.09%. VA and FHA is around 6.80%. Again, these are the average rates for people with great credit. 1 year ago, average 30-year fixed was at 5.77%. That's an increase of 1.32 percentage points. One thing I do want to point out that this is likely to decrease home sales and demand in the weeks and months ahead here is because of this right here. The average 30-year fixed has been at or above 6.8% for 2 months now. Additionally, average rates have been above 7% all month this year as well. One more thing I do want to mention regarding average rates is that it depends on the source as well. Because according to Investopedia.com, as of today, the average 30-year fix is averaging at 7.59% compared to 7.09% from the Mortgage News Daily. So obviously rates have been elevated for quite some time now, but also home prices have been increasing ever since February this year as well. So of course, this report here from Corelogic only goes through May 2023, but home prices have been increasing big time ever since then as well. Because right now, on a national level, the median sold price as of the 4 weeks ended July 2nd is at $384,000. 1 year ago, it was $385,000. So only $1,000 off, getting to last year's levels regarding home prices, even though rates have been above 6.8% for 2 months now. On top of that, at $384,000, this is only $3,000 off the all-time record high that was set last year at $387,000. In my personal opinion, what would happen in the next month or two is that home prices will go down. This is because we have a seasonality where home prices tend to decrease in the second half of the year, but also because rates have been above 7% all month. And on top of that, we're seeing home prices also increase over the past several months as well, which is causing housing affordability to be an even bigger issue than it was just 1 month ago. And of course, please comment below with your thoughts regarding what's going to happen the second half of this year regarding home prices nationwide here. Okay, let's change gears here again and talk about home price changes this May compared to last May for each of the states here, because there's some very, very big differences here. So nationally, home prices increased by 1.4% year over year. But in Arizona, California, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Nevada, New York, Oregon, South Dakota, Utah, Washington, and DC, home prices decreased over the previous 12 months. In contrast, the states with the highest increases year over year were Maine, a gain of 7.2%, New Jersey saw a gain of 7.1%, and Indiana saw a gain of 6.9% from May last year to May this year. And here is a map showing the US here. The states shaded in dark blue are changes of less than 1% from May 2022. The light blue is in the range of 1 to 3%. And in contrast, though, home prices increased by more than 7% in Maine again, and also in New Jersey as well. I mean, how wild is this? You basically split the US in half right here. The western states are experiencing the biggest decreases in prices from 12 months ago, whereas areas in the south and also in the northeast are experiencing the biggest decreases. Speaking of that, here are the states that experienced the biggest decreases from May last year to May this year. Again, Maine led the pack, a gain of 7.2%, and that was followed by New Jersey, Indiana, Vermont, South Carolina, Delaware, Wisconsin, Missouri, Arkansas, and Mississippi, all gaining by more than 5.3%. By the way, if you guys are curious what this map looked like 1 year ago, vastly different. Remember, the biggest decreases in the West, here's what it looked like 1 year ago back in May 2022. Look at these. In dark purple are gains of more than 20% compared to May of 2021. As you can see here in the South, big gains of over 20%. Also in Texas, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, Montana, as well as Washington, for example. And here's what it looked like for the biggest gainers back in May 2022 from 2021. Florida, a gain of 33.2%, whereas this year, I should say, the biggest gainer was, or the biggest increase was actually in Maine, only a gain of 7.2%. But last year, every single one of these metros here, the top 10 states, increased by more than 20%, which is absolutely insane. Corelogic also looked at the 10 biggest cities in the US and have a look at home price changes from 12 months ago. Before I share this May's map, here's what they reported 1 year ago. Again, changes from May 2021 through May 2022. Each of these 10 biggest cities increased by more than 10%, or in fact, Washington, D.C. increased by 10.0%, but giant increases of more than 20% in San Diego, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Denver, as well as Miami. The biggest increase was actually Phoenix, Arizona, increasing a whopping 28.7%. Now, here's what it looks like today, though, I should say, as of the end of May this year, a vastly different map here. Miami is still increasing, a gain of 11.8%, but not nearly the gains we saw 1 year ago, 24.3%. But here's what gets really interesting here, though, because Phoenix, Arizona, from May 2022 through May this year, a decrease of 5.5%, whereas 1 year ago, they saw gains of nearly 29%. Also, Las Vegas down by 5.5%, Denver down by 3.6%, versus the 20 to 26% gains they saw from a year ago. Also, San Diego and LA also fell from last year as well, down by 2.5% in San Diego, and also down by 3.1% in LA. Chicago saw a gain of 3.8%, whereas last year they saw a gain of 11.1%. So not as bad as these Western metros here. Washington, D.C. Increased by 0.7%, and Boston saw a gain of 0.5% versus the 11% gain they saw in Boston 1 year ago. Corelogic also posted their top 5 cities in which they believe home prices will decrease the most over the next 12 months. So leading the nation was actually in Provo, Utah, a very high probability, which is above a 70% probability of a price decrease over the next 12 months. That led the nation. And by the way, each of these 5 metros has a very high probability of prices decreasing over the next 1 year. Number 2, Lakeland, Winter Haven, Florida, also a very high probability. Number 3 was Northport, Sarasota, Florida, and then Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Florida. And rounding out the top 5 was Port St. Lucie, Florida. With that said, please let me comment below with your biggest takeaways from today's video. Also, if you guys got any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Of course, appreciate you. Also, consider subscribing as well. Hope you guys have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.